This is a Powermatic Edge Sander. It's got some vibration issues. You'll see me stick a piece of metal in there. That that tends to cause the vibration to go away. At this point, I was convinced that what I needed to do was put a piece of metal behind that metal bar, um, at my left hand there, um, and that what that would do is it would prevent that from vibrating, which would then prevent the handle from vibrating and something else in the machine that also was rattling, and that would quiet the rattle, and the machine would go from deafening to normal. You need to wear hearing protection levels. Um, that turned out to be a bad idea because it would get loose and come right out. Uh, so here I am just cleaning up the machine. I didn't want to paint it, so uh, I just wanted to clean it well enough. I wasn't going for, you know, a cleaning as far as like I'm gonna paint it, so I need to clean it really, really well. I just wanted it to look halfway presentable because, for our purposes, this thing's gonna mostly just have um, little metal dust, a little wood dust. It shouldn't. There's no reason for it to be covered in grease, right? Here you can see the pulley. This we ended up having to do a repair. You can see it when I go around sometimes. There's a nice crack in it. I'm aware of it. The crack itself is not a problem. It's mostly stuck in there pretty good. The big thing is that it was such a big chip that was loose. I'm not loose, but gone. I think we ended up having to cut a piece of aluminum off some scrap that we had, and yeah, we did, and then we bent it to get it to kind of go in there right, and then we welded it in, and then we put it on the lathe. The lathe then took it down pretty well, and from there we were able to clean the inside and the outside with the lathe, but then it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. So in order to measure how bad it was, how far off it was, and where on the roller, I wanted to make it so that I could remove just the pulley with the motor mounted. I only needed to remove a small amount of the frame there. You can see where I'm filing it, and then I would be able to get that to come right out. And what's good about that is then I can remove it, do a little filing, stick it back in, check it, pull it out again, do a little bit. If I didn't do it that way, I would have had to remove the whole motor every time I did that, and I know what would have happened. I would have taken too much at a turn because I was afraid of, taking too much time removing it and put it back on, removing the whole motor and putting it back on. Uh, so this was definitely a good thing to do. Yep, see how it's just coming right out. I think it got stuck about a third of the way, and now it's off. So that's great. And then from there, I'm able to file some of the burrs off. Uh, you know, this machine, it had definitely been knocked over more than once. I don't know what the heck happened or what people were doing with it because it's not a tippy machine. I mean, not that I can tell. It's perfectly fine machine. It seems sturdy enough. It's heavy. It is top heavy. I admit that, but if you're not pushing it over 6 inches, then it's not going to just fall over. And I would be surprised that anybody would have a machine like this and just stick it in the middle of the floor where it could fall, forward or back. We keep it up against a wall. It just makes sense that way, I would think. So here we go. I don't know exactly what I'm doing right here. Oh yeah. There was something up with the interior dimension. So I shimmed it a little bit. I don't remember what I used. Nothing. It wasn't a big deal. It was a little loose anyway, and it was a little off anyway. So I just shimmed it, and there's a key. It takes a key in there, and I think the key was creating a fulcrum, which was allowing it to, move, it was like a fulcrum that it was allowing it to move left and right over the key, as if the key was a fulcrum, and not that big of a deal, not even something that I would have thought to fix, but I was putting the micrometer on there, or I'm sorry, the not the micrometer, the linear gauge on there, and I was detecting the roundness, and that was throwing everything off. So after I cleaned everything up and fixed the wobble, it came in really nice, and then I was able to put the thing back together. This is the Powermatic Edge Sander, and I think this is the final video on this bit. I was trying to get some of the big vibration out of this machine. I had stuck a piece of metal back there, but when you tighten and loosen the belt here, what happened was that just got pushed out, and then it didn't do anything. So what I ended up having to do is drill through this this steel bar and put a screw in there. And what I did was I just took a die spring that I got from McMaster, and I put the screw through enough so that the die spring would stay in place. But this screw doesn't go all the way to the back. So the spring is able to actually move back and forth a bit, right? And that was, I guess, what I needed. That keeps enough pressure on this so that this post, steel bar, doesn't vibrate back and forth in the hole here and make that big noise. So it's still terribly loud, but as far as I know, this was the last bit that I was able to do to get it to be quieter. And so I've done that. I figured that out now.